So, I kind of have been a little bit down in the dumps, a little bit in a slump. There's a lot of things going on in life, like always. Nothing too new, I guess. There's always something going on. But recently, I've just been feeling more sad and irritated, irritable, more doubtful, and more unmotivated than usual. I worked hard on creating a homeostasis, a baseline emotion that I feel like I usually stay at. My baseline is usually just neither here nor there. It's usually just still peace, a blissful peacefulness that I usually feel like I am at most of the time, an equilibrium. I'll get sad at times and then go back to feeling at bliss, or I'll get really excited or really happy, and then the baseline has always been coming back to that peaceful bliss, that still content feeling. Recently, I feel like my baseline has been more down. I'll feel at peace and then I'll come back to feeling more sad or hopeless. I don't know, it's a weird feeling, and it doesn't feel like it's attached to one single situation or event. It doesn't feel like there's something specific that's causing it. It feels like there's a compounded emotional buildup that got me here. And I went on a trip recently, and on my trip I spent a good amount of time praying and putting out into the universe that I wanted to feel my emotions more, because I kind of felt like there was a lot going on in my life, and I felt like I wasn't feeling it, kind of numb to it. And I was just putting it out there and praying that I wanted to feel the hard emotions. I wanted to feel everything I had to feel. I didn't want to feel blocked or numb. And I made the decision that I want to be more open to feeling the painful or sad or depressing emotions, because it felt like I need to feel it, I didn't want to get to a point of build up. So my prayers were answered, and ever since I got back from the trip, I've been crying a lot more. Before, I only would cry once every 5 months, barely ever. And recently, I've been crying every other day. Like I said, just feeling my baseline is this pain or sadness. I'm happy that I'm feeling it, because feeling is better than not feeling. This is very vulnerable for me due to this sudden change in my baseline emotion. I feel that's the only way I can describe it. I feel I'm allowing my emotions to affect my actions. I think I wanted to make this video to try and document trying to get out of this slump, because I'm not in a rush to run away from these difficult emotions. If anything, every time I cry or get sad, I just I'm feeling grateful for the opportunity to feel my emotions. I just don't like the fact that I'm allowing my emotions control what I've been doing. I've been just more reactive with people in my life, which I worked really hard on not doing. I worked really hard on becoming more non-reactive in arguments with people, and I feel that's been coming out more. There's been a toll taken on my relationship with my own self-image, and just doing random things in the moment, I'll just feel unmotivated and allow my actions to be persuaded by the way I feel. Problem isn't the fact that I'm feeling kind of, down. The problem is that I'm allowing the way I feel about myself and the actions that I'm taking and the way I'm reacting to go based off of my emotions, because I want to feel my emotions, but I also want to be able to remove myself enough to not allow it to act from them, because my emotions are separate from my actions, right? So this video is just going to be me taking accountability for my actions, not allowing the fact that I'm more emotional and feeling more down affect the way I act towards myself, and trying to also uplift myself a little more, make myself feel a little more inspired, because I think what I'm missing is feeling excited to be alive. I usually live in a state of constant gratitude and awe of this world, of this life, and appreciation for it all. And I feel like I'm missing it right now. So I'm just going to try to get it back a little bit, you know? We're not pushing away the negative emotions. We're just welcoming back the regular gratitude and contentness, you know? I love the awe feeling of just recognizing how freaking amazing this world is. The sun feels nice. It's like cold as fuck. My hands are cold, but like, so I have like an action plan, obviously, to make this change, because one thing that I've learned that is very known is that if you want to make a change, if I want to make a change, I have to come up with a plan, an actionable plan, or steps to take to make the change, because change doesn't just come out of nowhere, right? The steps I want to take to try and uplift myself and try to bring myself into a higher vibrational frequency, because I feel like my vibrations have been pretty low recently. That's also a good way to explain it. The vibes have just been lower. I'm just going to try to higher the vibrations. I'm going to meditate more consistently, to invite stillness and bliss, to separate myself from my situation, spend more time in nature, because since it's been the winter, I haven't been in nature, and being in nature is something that makes me feel really connected and very appreciative of this life. God damn, it's windy. One thing I've been struggling with is just like using food as comfort. That's something that I've dealt with on a low level, like on and off when I was younger, and that's something that came back very hard the past like month and a half. I don't know, using food as a means to try to like comfort my emotions, and that's not a good coping mechanism, and I recognize that, and it's taking a toll on my body image. What I'm going to do is just take back control, because it feels like I've kind of like lost a little control, like I've let go of control, let my emotions dictate when I'm gonna eat, what I'm gonna eat, instead of being in tune with my hunger levels, with my fullness levels, with what I want to be putting in my body. I think I'm going to do that by starting to just like track what I'm eating in my MyFitnessPal. That's something I did when I first started my fitness journey. It was a very helpful tool to just try to be more mindful of what I'm eating and keeping track, because it's like an accountability thing. I think obviously everybody has a different relationship with food, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you should be tracking your food, because that might make your relationship with food even worse. So you have to be aware of that yourself. It's like a personal decision, but for me, I know that it'll just help me be more accountable and be more aware. And when you're overindulging in food when you don't need it, and when it's just for comfort, it's like you're fulfilling this like instant gratification. If you take a step back and recognize that the instant gratification isn't worth the long-term effects, consistently do a night routine. I'm pretty like on and off with my night routine, but I'm going to try like every single day this week to do my night routine and to just be kind to myself. Oh, and also tapping into like different hobbies or interests that I have let slip away a little bit, like painting and skating. And we're going to try to, you know, invite those back too, because that's going to help me connect to myself more. So come with me on this journey, trying to get out of this slump. Oh, look at this beautiful world. Look at this beautiful world. I started my day off today by going to a yoga class. Now I'm here looking at this beautiful park. I'm feeling ready to commit to making this change, to higher my vibrations, you know, to uplift myself, to take control. I just did like a oil treatment on my hair, and I'm letting it sit for like an hour before I wash it out. But I just made some breakfast, and like I said, staying accountable. I just re-downloaded my fitness app and tracked this breakfast. Chia seed oatmeal with banana, blueberries, and Nutella. I'm trying to like plan out the rest of my day. I'll probably have like a nature bar, and then I'll probably have like some soup with some chicken for dinner. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. But I already am liking tracking this, because it's making me a lot more mindful of what I'm gonna put in my body. I've been like struggling with recognizing when I'm full. I think a big part of that is since I feel like I've been using food as like a comfort and support system for my uncomfortable emotions. Like I'll eat and I'll be full and I still feel like hungry in a way, but it's not really that I'm hungry. It's just like I'm still craving that instant gratification. That's what it is. It's like hunger feels different than like craving that emotional relief and comfort. So I think what I'm going to be working on a lot this week is trying to decipher whether are you hungry or are you just craving that emotional relief. I was like, why is food so comforting and why does food offer this like emotional relief? It's just like anything else that's like instant gratification, like scrolling or doing things that feel good in the moment but can be destructive in the long run. Like food just tastes good. Like I love food so much. So like that instant dopamine hit that I get when I'm eating food that I like is what I'm craving. So I recognize this right now and I'm just going to grab some water, drink some water. I'm gonna take my vitamins and then I'm gonna move on with my day. You know, if I feel actually hungry soon, then I can make myself something instead of focusing on craving this comfort and this dopamine hit that you get from eating. I'm just going to refocus that energy into my daily tasks. Like I need to wash this oil out of my hair, planning some of my clients' workouts, you know? So let's do it. So I just got done doing my morning yoga and meditating, and now I'm gonna journal. I think I'm just gonna write some things I'm grateful for and some intentions for the day. Today, I want to bring more awareness and appreciation for the wonders I have around me. I'm so thankful for waking up, for being able to walk and brush my teeth, for a roof over my head, for clothes to wear. I'm so grateful to have the ability to drop into my awareness of the connected, flowing consciousness that is so present in the all of everything. I'm grateful to have the freedom to plan my days as I wish and to not waste the beautiful life I get to experience day to day and moment to moment. Peace, love, light. Today's Thursday. I filmed like the intro on Monday and I just wanted to do a little check-in for the accountability and to just let you know how it's going. Oh, 11:11. If you want to read my home screen. Anyways, I've been reading that a lot, but I feel really good about how this week's going, and I feel really good about the habits and commitments that I've made to feel this way, because like I said in the beginning, my goal was to, you know, implement more meditation, yoga consistently, like doing my night routine, like not going to sleep on my phone. So far for the past 3 nights, it's been good. Like I haven't been doing my full night routine because I ended up going to sleep a little later than expected, but I haven't been going to sleep on my phone, which has made a big difference. And I've meditated every day, which I can feel has made a difference too. I think the biggest thing that's like really helping me right now is the fact that I've been tracking my food on MyFitnessPal. Me tracking my food has made me feel like so much more in control of like what I'm putting in my body. So far this whole week I haven't made any food choices that were out of purely like emotional comfort needs. I was listening to this other girl, I don't know if you know her, Buff Unicorn, I'll put her up here, but she was talking about how something that helped her with like binge eating or overeating is like creating this buffer between, you know, wanting to eat the food and eating it, right? The buffer, or like this called friction between, is like something that makes you take a moment to like step back, right? So like for her, she was saying it was taking pictures of her food. She made it a habit to take pictures of everything she was going to eat so that it takes a second to like, you know, take a picture, and you know, you got to take a step back for a second, think about it a little more instead of just going right for it. So I think that's what tracking my food on MyFitnessPal has been, because I've been trying to track it before I even eat it. And I have like these goals for myself, like for my macros and for my calories, but that doesn't really make as much of a difference to me. But it's just like the fact that I have like this accountability and this extra step between me just wanting to eat and me eating. It just makes me take a step back and like think a lot more about, okay, but what is this going to do for your body if you eat it? Like, are you actually hungry? You know, the fact that for the past like 4 days I've only been eating things because I want to be nourishing my body, and I haven't eaten anything that was just like purely an emotional decision, has made me feel really in control. Like I said, I'm not pushing away the sadness, but I do feel a lot more motivated, and I worked out so far every day this week, and I've been feeling a lot better, like higher vibrations, which has felt good because I'm showing up for myself. I think that's also a big thing. Like, I'm just showing up for myself a lot more for the past couple of days, and I feel pretty good, you know? So we're about to show up for ourselves again. I have this project I'm working on that I was kind of disappointed because I kept pushing off doing it, and I want it to be like done by this week. It's not gonna happen, and I'm not beating myself up about it because that's not gonna help. I'm not feeling guilty about it. I'm just understanding that it's not gonna happen this week, so, you know, kind of push the deadline a little further. But that's what I want to work on right now. My proof that I've been tracking my shit, the fact that I'm finally doing it makes me happy and proud of myself. Okay, so we have today, we have yesterday, Tuesday, Monday. It just feels good to know that I'm like just taking care of myself well and showing up for myself. Something that I've been doing just to like higher the vibrations is like, I woke up this morning and I did yoga, I meditated, and then I went to train a client, and then I went to pick my sister up from school, and I've been playing good music. You know, I've been finding music that makes me feel happy and good, you know, and playing it and listening and just dropping in like while I'm driving, trying to stay off my phone, really just like looking at the world around me, listening to music that makes me happy, and just like enjoying the fact that I get to drive and listen to music and all that.
It's like every other time.
Oh. Okay, let's try.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
Well, I gotta check her out. I was trying
Faye Webster is really good.
Trying to find out who her drummer is. Questions are: what instruments does Faye Webster play? Who plays pedal steel for Faye Webster? There's pedal steel in this? That's awesome.
She's really... That was so fun. You know, drum lessons can sometimes be so like challenging and stressful. Like if I'm trying to learn something and I'm just not getting it, it just gets frustrating. And so that was like happening a lot. So I was like, you know what, next time I come in, I'm just gonna come with some song recommendations that I like, because that's always fun, like trying to learn a new song. I just love music, and like I like this time of drumming because it really connects me to music. And there was a point in my life where one of my hobbies was listening and finding new music. Like obviously still now I listen to music all the time, but it's not the same as how it used to be, like where I literally would just sit there and listen to music and find music and listen to a whole artist's discography. And like that's just something I don't get to do a lot now, because you know, my time is filled with different things. This time of drumming is really good for me. First of all, it really challenges like a lot of things. Like I have to do a lot of different things with all my limbs. That's like challenging, obviously. It's fun, and I've always wanted to learn the drums, and it opens this space up and creates this space for me to again like put myself back into the state of being really into music in a way, like listening to all the beats and the melody and all the instruments, and really appreciating music in a way that I don't get to on my daily anymore. Like now I just mostly listen to music like at the gym or in the car, but it's not the same type of way as like really sitting down and appreciating a piece of music. And I get to do that when I'm in my drum lesson, so this feels nice. It's just nice to have like different hobbies and different things that I'm interested in, and like when I actually make time to do it, you know, to connect to myself, you know. I worked out this morning and I literally like died. Like it was actually such a challenging workout, which was so fun, but I was so drained after, and I felt so good though, you know. I don't consistently go to class on Saturdays, but I love when I do, because then I feel so good, you know. And I love the gym, and I love the people, and I'm about to go to the library and work on my project that I was telling you about. And so I'm excited to just put some time into that, because it's needed and it's something I'm very passionate about, and it's something that deserves time. So let's go. Why the hell did I swipe? Lunch, I had one of these oatmeal cookies that I made yesterday. I've definitely been feeling more excited to work out, because it's coming from less of a place of guilt. When I was feeling like out of control with my food, like when I was working out, it was like in the back of my head like, oh, you have to work out because you're eating like shit, or you're overeating or whatever. But now it's just like kind of back to how I'm just working out because it feels good, because it's good for me, and because I love it, you know. No type of like guilt associated with it, which feels really nice. positivity.
Actually, I walked it. Oh, yeah. There you go.
One of the biggest things I learned over this past week, and one of the biggest realizations that came throughout this week of bringing myself back to me, is how powerful having this toolbox of practices and rituals, routines, and habits are. Having this variety of different options of practices that can bring us back to who we are is so necessary. I'm just so grateful that I have been opened up to and have made the decision to really commit to being consistent with these practices, because it's at times like this that it really is showing its purpose, and it's really revealing the beauty of having these things in your back pocket to be able to pull out and use, because it's at times where we're feeling heavy and feeling like there's an impending doom because we feel like we're stuck in whatever emotion that we're feeling. When we're experiencing a specific emotion, especially heavy ones, it's so easy to fall into this thought pattern and this emotion that we will never feel better than this, that you will always be stuck in this low vibrational reality, when really looking at the big picture, we know that it's all just waves. We know that it's all just a matter of time until the feelings change, because all the feelings are so fleeting and are so not permanent. That goes for obviously positive emotions as well. It's beautiful knowing that we are never stuck in one emotion, and we will always constantly be floating through the waves of these valleys and peaks, these ups and downs, these highs and lows, no matter what, because that is the journey of life. That's why it's so important to look at the bigger picture when we are experiencing these lower vibrational emotions, because that's how we keep on continuously bringing ourselves to further experience coming out of that low. And being in those slumps and being in those valleys is an important and necessary part of the human experience. Allowing yourself to feel them and validating them and understanding what is happening within you is so important, and it's equally as important to remind yourself that we are not stuck in whatever we're feeling and how it is so temporary. All of these feelings are temporary. You will be in this reality of feeling a certain way, and tomorrow you can wake up feeling so different. You are not a victim of how your past is. Don't let your past emotions define your present or future emotions. Don't get sucked into painting yourself a certain way when you have the power. The biggest thing I have been learning over this past week of bringing myself back to my power has been really seeing so clearly how much control we all have over what we're feeling, because knowing that I was in a lower vibrational state, recognizing it, accepting it, and deciding that I want to take steps to try to bring myself back, to try to bring myself up, and taking the necessary actionable steps that I already know to help me. It is so possible and realistic for you to take control, and that's something that I'm just blown away by and in awe of all the time. Just recognizing how me simply changing my thoughts by recognizing what thoughts are not serving me, what stories and narratives I'm telling myself that are not serving me and that are helping me stay in a certain state, in a certain emotional vibration, letting them go. It's not pushing them down or pushing them away. It's just seeing those negative thoughts for what they are and letting them go actively changing the narrative. It's so possible. We all hold the power to bring ourselves back to who we are. That is really the work of life, is to continuously come back and return to home, to what you know to be true. I'm just so thankful for everything I get to experience, for all the highs and lows, because it's like just all a learning lesson. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so proud of everything that I've been doing for myself, and show myself what I can do with all this time I put into creating and implementing these consistent practices and rituals and routines. Now I get to see the fruits of my labor, and I get to experience in my present reality how all this time and energy I put into those things can really help me now. Knowing yourself so well just gives you the ability to handle different waves of life. I just want to remind you to continue to take deep breaths. You are in control of it all.